What we say about God matters, but what we think about God matters even more. There's no shortage of images or descriptions of God, and many times these are developed in connection with a broader agenda. Trust in the Lord, trust in your church, your parish. God is the judge of all beings, and will judge you too on God's behalf. What we think about God has so much to do with how we operate in the world. But we need a lens, a filter, as more and more information about the divine comes to us from outside sources. As a mom who is strongly committed to raising and formation of children in safe and loving church community, I found myself taking a Sharpie to a lot of the mass-produced biblical literature. Sometimes God would be painted as a bully, a trickster, trying to entrap us, a puppeteer who controls our every move, a divine being who has done things but won't do more things. I know God differently, and I wanted children to know this too. And the ways that we frame our heavenly maker indelibly shape our baby's sense of who God is, who they are, and how all this interacts. And what I wanted to do when I wrote a children's book, which is called God Is, was to offer a biblically based, theologically sound framework for knowing God that could speak to all people, young and old. Now, just so you know, I'm not trying to sell you a book. My publisher, Pilgrim Press, the oldest Christian press in the country, by the way, is a few years into the work that we started doing during the pandemic. Right now, the text is with our fabulous illustrator. I don't have a link for you to pre-order. I just want you to know where and why we are headed in this focused direction about who God is not and who I believe God to be. And that's going to guide our conversations and meditations over the next several weeks. I offer this because sometimes seeing the most complex concepts through the eyes of a child can help us to connect with ourselves even, maybe with our inner child, to connect at our deepest level with who the God who is always reaching out to us. Okay, so here's the plan. Over the next several weeks, through Labor Day weekend, we will be exploring one of these misconceptions about God every week. I'll offer a biblical passage and a brief reflection on it that ends with a question you can pose amongst your friends or family, or if you're in the park sanctuary, you'll be invited to talk with folks around you to your comfort level. You don't have to talk, but you're welcome to. The idea here is that God is. And God has implanted wisdom within you, within the community, to come to a closer understanding so that you can release what God isn't and embrace the God who is. Amen. And in closing, I just want to point out that Jesus is pretty consistent in querying his followers about who he is. He wanted to know who they said he was, so that he could make the necessary corrections and affirmations. Over the next few weeks, we'll allow God to continue to ask us these questions. Who do you say that I am? And as you do, just remember, God is. So for your discussion today, I would love to ask you to reflect on these questions. Who do you say that God is? What are some names or attributes that you connect to God? Jot all this down in your journal or on your phone. Who or what is God not? Who is God to you?